Now at 9, some ways to save money at the pump, from tips on fuel efficiency to going electric.
The president is focusing on rising food prices as nationally the inflation rate remains sky high. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. The latest on the numbers coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. There is increasing worry for the well-being of a girl last seen in her home yesterday morning. Detectives say 12-year-old Italy Renee Savage has health issues, and this heat could worsen those issues. They believe Italy may have left her home at her own will. Law enforcement tonight led a search party for her. Officials are asking Neosho residents living east of Oak Ridge Drive to check their outbuildings. Here's why. She has run away in the past and was later found in an outbuilding.
This is about her. It's not about me. She needs me to be strong.
Anyone with information on the whereabouts of this girl is being asked to call the Neosho Police Department. A suspect in Monday's Joplin Bank robbery is arrested after calling police himself. Surveillance image shows a man who robbed the Great Southern Bank on South Range Line Monday morning. Police say the robber told his teller he had a weapon, left with an undisclosed amount of cash. Police say after they released that image, they received a call from a man identifying himself as Vincent Gibson. Now, the caller said he resembled the robber, just looked like him, but said it wasn't him. Authorities compared photos of the robber and Gibson, specifically a hand tattoo, and determined they are the same person. They also say Gibson has a neck tattoo on the spot where the robber wore a bandage. See right there. Investigators say they have evidence Gibson acquired a surgical mask shortly before the robbery, paid an outstanding bill with cash in Joplin shortly after the robbery, and walks with a limp like the robber. Gibson is now in jail, charged with the robbery. All right, meteorologist Doug Katie joining us now. First look at the forecast. Another humid day, man.
Yeah, super warm, humid day once again. We actually tied a record high as we went all the way up to 90 degrees. Record is 90, set way back 1963. Average high is 75 degrees for this time of the year. Pretty much clear skies. Not a whole bunch is going on out here. We have thunderstorms across the northern plains stretching into western parts of Kansas. Those are going to stay away from us. Still warm, upper 70s to near 80 degrees for us right now. We'll only drop back into the upper 60s later on tonight. Thunderstorm chances increase. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Doug, thanks so much. Gas prices continue to climb, with AAA saying the average price for regular unleaded in Missouri is $3.98 a gallon. KOAM's Chris Warner has some options for conserving fuel.
Frank Fletcher Toyota in Joplin is one of many dealerships in our area offering electric or gas-electric hybrid cars. However, employees say demand is high, and in most cases, those vehicles are pre-ordered and sold before they ever hit the lot. Despite that, sales professional Sage Honey says there are some benefits to switching to a hybrid vehicle.
Depending on how much you drive, you can save anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500 a year just in gas between a gas to hybrid car.
Honey says the number of electric and hybrid vehicles are expected to increase, and as Toyota makes plans for new all-electric models, they're making changes at their dealerships to combat issues like not having enough charging stations.
We're going to start getting charging stations all around our dealership for them. And then by 2030, we're expecting to have up to 14 all-electric models. So we're going to start seeing a lot more electric and hybrid vehicles here.
An electric or hybrid vehicle may not be an option for everyone, or maybe something you're just not interested in. If you're driving an all-gas vehicle, Nick Chaveria with AAA's St. Louis office says there's some things you can do to improve fuel efficiency.
It's going to start with regular maintenance, making sure you're getting your oil changed regularly, making sure that you're getting your fluids changed out when they need to be, any repairs that need to be done, make sure to get those in because, that's going to help your engine run as efficiently as possible.
Some other tips from AAA include making sure your tires are aired up to the right pressure. When driving in town, adjust your speed to time the traffic lights, reducing the need for repeated braking and acceleration. And when approaching a red light or a stop sign, coast down to a slower speed instead of maintaining speed until it's time to stop. Now, despite rising prices, AAA says the roads may still be busy this summer.
Historically, when we've seen gas prices elevated, what we've seen is instead of people necessarily canceling their plans altogether, they'll find other ways to save and try to make up for the higher cost of fuel.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
AAA says another key to saving fuel is to slow down and drive the speed limit, as higher speeds result in more drag on your car. Girard, Kansas woman is finally getting a chance to go on her dream vacation with her son. Billy Messenger is a mother who is diagnosed with terminal cancer. Recently, she was put in hospice care. Billy has a 10-year-old son, and she's always dreamed of taking him to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. Well, with the help of a social worker and nurse, they were able to make that dream a reality.
To know that just because I won't be here tomorrow doesn't mean that tomorrow's not going to happen. And just because I got cancer and I'm sick and he's going to lose me and all the ugly that cancer has brought into our lives and things that he's had to see at such a young age and things that he's going to lose at such a young age, that there's still plenty of life to live for.
The Dream Foundation and Care to Share Crawford County also helped organize the vacation. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly today signed a law to phase out the state's sales tax on groceries over 3 years. Kelly held a ceremony at a grocery store to sign the law. State's food tax is currently 6.5%. It's the second highest in the nation. It's going to first drop to 4% in January, then it will fall by 2% every year until it hits zero in 2025. The latest inflation report is out, and it shows the rate for April is just slightly below March, meaning for many Americans, they're paying more for just about everything. President Biden says his administration is working to bring costs down, but when will people notice? Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with more.
President Biden says how much more Americans are paying for their everyday needs is a top priority. The April inflation rate showed year over year it's at 8.3%, just slightly lower than March's 40-year historic high. Visiting a farm in Illinois, the president laid part of the blame for the rise in prices on the war in Ukraine.
America's fighting on two fronts. At home, it's inflation and rising prices. Abroad, it's helping Ukrainians defend their democracy.
The Labor Department reporting this April compared to last April, food costs 9.4% more. Meat, eggs, and milk all adding up in a big way for consumers. Energy prices are also still sky high. Along with that, travel is significantly more expensive for Americans hoping to take a trip.
I'm afraid we're going to have to live with inflation for quite some time.
But Republicans hope voters will choose their economic policies this November as supply chain problems persists 2 years into the pandemic. The GOP blames the administration and trillions in government spending for inflation woes.
Expert calculations say Democrats' $2 trillion spending spree last March is directly responsible for as much as 3 percentage points of our current inflation.
Depending on where you live, inflation could be hitting you harder. The Labor Department says Phoenix, Atlanta, and Miami have some of the worst rates. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Emotions running high in the Senate today as Democrats held a vote aimed at codifying Roe v. Wade into law. The measure failed to garner enough support, and now the party is left grappling with what to do next. The Supreme Court has yet to release its final opinion on the issue, by the way. Fox's Madeline Rivera has a closer look from D.C.
The motion is not agreed to.
As expected, a procedural vote to preserve abortion access nationwide was blocked in the Senate Wednesday. Democrats had teed up the vote in light of a draft opinion leak suggesting the Supreme Court is ready to strike down Roe v. Wade.
Sadly, the Senate failed to stand in defense of a woman's right to make decisions about her own body.
The Women's Health Protection Act was doomed before it even hit the floor. The bill had already failed once in February after Senate Democrats couldn't even muster up enough support among their own members. Senator Joe Manchin says while he supports codifying Roe v. Wade, the legislation goes too far, including eliminating mandatory ultrasounds and waiting periods.
It is not Roe v. Wade codification. It's an expansion.
As the march towards midterm elections gets underway, Democrats are aiming to weaponize the show vote against Republicans. A poll released this month shows more than 60% of voters believe Roe should stand.
Today is the start of the galvanization of all women in this country and the men who support them.
Republicans argue Democrats are the ones who are out of touch.
It is chilling that anybody would write legislation like this in 2022.
Republican Senator Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski have introduced a bill to codify Roe v. Wade, but critics say it doesn't go far enough to protect abortion rights. And Senator Schumer says he's not looking to compromise on the issue. In Washington, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Ferd Maskey served in the U.S. Army from 1941 to 1945. He was stationed in Germany, France, also England, and we are very proud to thank and salute Corporal Ferd Maskey. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, Liberal and Jasper softball squaring off for a spot in the state quarterfinals. We're gonna have highlights and post-game reaction in sports.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a very warm, humid day for us today. Actually hot across the region as our temperatures made it right around 90 degrees in those heat indices, 95 to 100 as we went through the afternoon hours. Warmer than what we saw yesterday, but still really all week long so far. We've had very warm temperatures across the region. Still, we're upper 70s to near 80 degrees outside for us right now. It looks pretty good. 7th and rangeline currently sitting at 79. We have the south winds 5 to 10. Still a heat index of 82. Relative humidity is sitting at about 72%. Not much is going on here. We look pretty good as we go through the rest of the overnight hours. We're not going to really have much in the way of clouds or any chances for rain, any big storms. Staying well to our north, parts of Minnesota. We can see these tracking down into western Kansas. None of these are going to make it here, but it's this storm system that will start to head toward us a little bit later on this week. We'll get this upper level wave. It's going to shift out into the central plains, giving us some chances for showers and thunderstorms. Until then, much of the same. It stays warm, stays humid. We only drop back near 70 a little bit later on tonight. As we go through the daytime hours for us tomorrow, temperatures, they're going to warm up near 90 for a high. So another hot one across the region. Heat indices kind of 95, upwards to 100 again. 68 to start, 85 by noon. High temp at 90, south winds at about 5 to 10 as we go into the afternoon hours. Tomorrow night, thunderstorms will start to develop out across central Kansas. Some of these are going to try to get in here late tomorrow night into Friday morning. These will weaken as they push in, but we could see a few stronger storms Friday morning, especially in southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. These will continue to slowly work east throughout the day and really just kind of fall apart. But I do think we'll have a lot of clouds all day long, some hit and miss showers. Our temperatures should still go into low to mid 80s, and then late in the afternoon we'll get some scattered thunderstorms. Hit and miss, not a line, but some of those could be strong, possibly severe. And then as we go into the evening hours, thunderstorms will erupt out along the front, out to the west of us, and then these will move in late during the overnight hours, giving us additional scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong to severe. So we need to keep our eyes on that, but any severe threat's going to be fairly low as we go into Friday afternoon, but still everybody is going to at least have that threat across the region. 2 p.m., mainly till 11 p.m. I'm going to have to kind of push that late night. Main threat's going to be wind and hail. We'll keep tornado, hail, wind, and rain all on the low side, but something we want to keep our eyes on as we go through the next couple days. 90 tomorrow, 85 on Friday. 84 on Saturday, 84 on Sunday. You can see those chances for hit-miss thunderstorms sticking around into early next week.
Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But how much longer is this humidity going to stick around? Is it here for?
Yeah, I mean, September. I mean, we'll have our breaks, obviously.
Doug's like, it's summer, Jordan. See you in a little bit. Thank you so much. Coming up, trying to figure out what led a prison guard to become a criminal.
An Alabama sheriff speaks out after a convict and a former prison guard are captured. I'm Steve Harrigan in Florence, Alabama. That story ahead.
First, here's a look at our tower camera, sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction, as work continues on the KOAM More Power project, getting shorter. Check it out anytime on our website, koamnewsnow.com/power. An Alabama sheriff is speaking out after the death of former corrections officer Vicky White. Authorities are now trying to figure out why the model employee helped an inmate escape. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan has more.
She turned her back on her co-workers at the detention center.
Alabama authorities say they feel betrayed by an ex-corrections officer who escaped with an inmate. Vicky White and accused murderer Casey White were captured Monday after 11 days on the run. Vicky shot herself in the head and died from her injuries. Yesterday, a coroner announced the manner of death was suicide. Lauderdale County Sheriff Rick Singleton says his office takes some responsibility.
The buck stops here. You know, I mean, we had the procedures and protocols in place. You know, it's embarrassing for the sheriff's office.
The pair had allegedly been holed up inside a hotel for days before their capture. Authorities tracked them down. A car chase later ensued, and marshals rammed their vehicle. Dashcam footage reveals what happened next. Several officers are seen handcuffing Casey next to a wrecked Cadillac. They then lean him over a police car to search for weapons while Vicky was removed from the pair's vehicle.
Casey wasn't worth it.
Casey was arraigned Tuesday night in Alabama. A judge added first-degree escape to his charges. He is already facing a capital murder count in the 2015 fatal stabbing of a woman.
I mean, I'm relieved that he is off the street. Casey White, as I said from the beginning, is an extremely dangerous man. This very well could have ended very differently.
Casey will face a murder trial next month. In Florence, Alabama, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Still ahead, a business with a special meaning.
A breast cancer survivor is reimagining bras for women battling the disease. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a special look at the business that's bettering lives coming up.
Touches the lives of so many Americans. Well, now, one breast cancer survivor is using her own experiences and fashion skills to help make the lives of women battling the disease better. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty has a special look.
We can show the world what cancer really looks like.
Dana Donifrey is a breast cancer survivor.
I had a bilateral mastectomy with implant reconstruction on both sides.
But after the fashion designer underwent her surgeries back in 2010, she wasn't thrilled with the selection of specialty bras available to her and other breast cancer patients.
The market was incredibly limiting. I would explain it as being matronly, utilitarian, very basic.
Fed up with the one-size-fits-all approach, Donifrey launched her own company, Ana Ono, in 2014, creating flattering and functional bras compatible for women in various stages of breast cancer treatment and recovery. And when it comes to Donifrey's designs, it's all in the details.
You need something that's easy to get in and out of. So this is why we have the front hook closure. No elastic up against the skin. It also has a high neckline feature, so it can mimic and hide it can actually mask and hide any of the scars.
According to the CDC, breast cancer is the most common cancer in women, with more than 250,000 diagnosed every year in the U.S. And whether it's in fashion shows or catalogs, Donifrey's company is all about representing them.
All of our models online have undergone a breast surgery or been diagnosed with a breast cancer diagnosis, some preventative, some stage 4.
Ana Ono is available at several online retailers, including Soma and Nordstrom. It's also coming soon to Target.com. As for Donifrey, she's eyeing a collection of swimwear next. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Gonna check out a new chocolate drink at Starbucks when we come back. Doesn't this look good? Starbucks is adding a new chocolate drink to its menu to welcome summer. The coffee company added yesterday the sweet treat to its menu permanently. The new chocolate cream cold brew features a mix of chocolate and coffee together with the chocolate cream cold foam. Closely resembles a creamy milkshake. Starbucks says they want to remind you of summer with every sip. They also added, by the way, a new lime frosted coconut bar to its menu. That to me says summer. I love lime and I love key lime, so give that a try. 30 more minutes news, weather, and sports coming away. You're going to hear about National Salvation Army Week. Also meet some new majors in Pittsburgh.
Russia deploys more troops in the south as it looks for a way to break through Ukrainian defensive lines. I'm Trey Yingst in Kyiv. I've got the details coming up.
Pittsburgh Salvation Army is celebrating National Salvation Army Week with donuts. Good stuff. Visitors were invited to have donuts with majors. Also meet the newest majors, Eric and Patricia Johnson. National Salvation Army Week was declared to remind and inform the public of the services the Salvation Army provides.
We really like being here in Pittsburgh. We're trying to figure out where the Salvation Army can work a little bit harder at meeting needs, or maybe there's something that's not being met that we can do, and we're still trying to figure that out.
Johnsons became majors on June 28th of last year and have served with the Salvation Army for decades. Pittsburgh high school student is selected to represent Kansas in a national organization. Ella Rooms is the new student president of Kansas HASA. HASA works to promote health industry career opportunities for students. Ella was chosen through a vote by more than 1,000 HASA members throughout the state. The new position will allow her to gain a lot of valuable experience.
It means so much to me. When I started in this organization, I watched other PHS students being the HASA president, and I thought, wow, I'd really like to do that someday, and here I am.
Ella says after high school, she wants to go to medical school to pursue a degree in health science, as well as leadership and policy. COVID-19 infections are on the rise nationwide because of the BA.2 Omicron subvariant. Health officials are remaining cautious but prepared, they say, as several states report increases of infections, but no significant uptick in deaths. Fox News senior correspondent Casey Stiegel is in Dallas with more.
The BA.2 Omicron subvariant continues to drive a surge of infections across the country. CDC data published this week shows 43% of new infections last week were due to the subvariant, also known as stealth Omicron. The Northeast is feeling the brunt of new cases, responsible for 66% of new COVID-19 infections nationwide. Despite this, officials say hospitalizations and deaths remain low thanks to high vaccination rates in current hotspots.
We've got a lot of tools in our toolkit to keep ourselves, our families, and our communities safe.
The U.S. is currently averaging 66,000 new cases daily, up from 29,000 1 month ago. Despite the growing number of infections, states and cities are standing firm and have not reinstated mitigation measures like mask wearing at this time.
If we don't keep our guard up, if we don't do some of the basic things like maintaining a level of testing, making sure that we're keeping people vaccinated and boosted, we're going to lose more lives unnecessarily.
Dr. Anthony Fauci also reiterated that message and says Americans should not let their guard down just yet.
I don't think you're going to see all of a sudden one day there's going to be a declaration that the pandemic is over, and it's more of an endemic kind of infection that you could live with.
President Biden is expected to deliver remarks about the ongoing pandemic fight during a global COVID-19 summit scheduled at the White House for Thursday. That's the latest from Dallas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimating more than 100,000 Americans died of drug overdoses in 2021. That's a 15% increase from the previous year. The numbers roughly translate to one overdose death every 5 minutes. Fentanyl and other synthetic opioids were the top overdose causes, followed by cocaine, meth, and other stimulants. Exact numbers, though, are hard to determine, since overdose deaths are usually caused by more than one drug. Experts say the pandemic exacerbated drug use since the healthcare system was overwhelmed and lockdowns made seeking treatment harder. Russian markets reeling after Ukraine cut off access to a natural gas hub supplying much of Europe as the fighting grinds on. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has more from Ukraine.
As the Russian offensive in the east intensifies, Ukraine is opening a new front in the economic war, cutting off access to a major hub supplying about a third of Europe with natural gas from Russia. Shipments were down by up to 34% on Wednesday, but Russia's biggest energy company says it doesn't anticipate any long-term disruptions, despite the fact that it's now limited to one transit hub to supply the bulk of its European customers.
Ukraine left only one entrance for transit to Europe, which significantly reduces the reliability of its gas supply.
Meanwhile, the Russian military is stepping up attacks on the key port city of Odessa, hoping a renewed offensive in southern Ukraine will make it easier for Russian troops to link up with reinforcements from the east. But that strategy doesn't seem to be working, with Ukrainian defense lines largely holding for now.
There's no real evidence that he's making substantial gains on the ground. I think it freezes, if you will, in the Donbass, and that becomes another frozen conflict.
The Pentagon says the coming weeks will be critical as Ukraine ramps up counteroffensives near major cities, and it's crucial to maintain the flow of weapons from the West, including heavy artillery.
Our most urgent goal continues to be sending the Ukrainians the capabilities they need most right now, as the war has shifted to the Donbass and to the south.
The Russians are also struggling to claim victory in Mariupol, where a last pocket of Ukrainian fighters is holed up in a steel mill. In Kyiv, Trey Engst, Fox News.
A bit later, combating the baby formula shortage.
The nationwide baby formula shortage is putting parents on high alert. I'm Kevin Cork with a look at what professionals say you should and shouldn't do to ease the burden. That's coming right up.
Well, of course, it turned out warm. It turned out very humid for us today. Temperatures, they went to 90 degrees. So we set, or at least tied a record high, which was set way back in 1963. But all week long, we've been on the warm side across the region. We're going to stay warm in general over the next few days. Temps still upper 70s to near 80 degrees. So it's going to be a warm night. We'll only drop back right around 70 later on tonight. Outside in Joplin, 79. Feels like 82. Humidity is at 72%. The pressure is slowly dropping, but we have pretty much clear skies. There's nothing going on here. You have to travel north across parts of Minnesota. Some showers, some thunderstorms, some severe weather. We can track a little bit farther toward the southwest. A few little guys, western Kansas, those have pretty much fallen apart. So nothing is heading toward us, at least tonight, into the daytime hours tomorrow. But eventually this storm system will pull out into the Central Plains and give us chances for showers and thunderstorms late tomorrow night and then heading into Friday. Tonight looks fine. Let's go through time. Temps drop back near 70. We see partly to mostly sunny skies tomorrow. Carbon copy of today. High temps, they're going to go right around 90 degrees once again. 68 to start, 85 by noon, high temp at 90. South winds are going to be light at 5 to 10. Heat indices are still going to be in that 95 to 100 degree range. Very similar to what we did see today. Thunderstorms get going out to our west tomorrow night. These are going to try to push in late tomorrow night into Friday morning. Scattered, but some of these could be strong as they work into southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. But through a good chunk of the day on Friday, we're going to have these hit and miss showers. As we get into the afternoon, they may try to beef up a little bit. So that's when a low severe threat will move into the region. These are going to be very scattered, so not all of us will see the showers and thunderstorms. Then as we go into Friday night, another batch out to our west will drop in. Some of those could be strong, possibly severe, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that as well. Friday night into Saturday morning. Then I think Saturday we will see a break, but at least a low threat for severe weather as we go through Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Hail and wind are the main threat, keeping tornado threat low, but definitely something we want to keep our eyes on over the next couple days. 90 tomorrow, 85 Friday, 84s over the weekend. There's scattered thunderstorm chances kind of sticking around as we go through the next few days. If we look at our severe threats, we're going to put a low threat on Friday, so that's why it's a yellow day. Low threat on Sunday, next Tuesday, next Friday. They kind of ramp up a bit, obviously right around the 22nd, which it seems to do that every year, so we'll have to watch that. But we still got a good month, like 30-ish days of severe weather season to go.
Very sticky out there.
It is.
Doug Kennedy, thank you so much. Yep. Coming up in sports, former Pitt State linebacker earning his shot at professional football 3 years after finishing his college career. Plus, a Southeast Kansas softball player catching fire at the plate to close out the regular season. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Well, tonight is championship night at the Class 1 District 6 softball tournament in Liberal. Now, the hometown Bulldogs have a shot to win the district title on their own field this evening, facing top-seeded Jasper Eagles. Now, the winner of this one moves on to the Class 1 state quarterfinals next week. Early on, Jasper jumps on the board, ground ball up the middle, scores 2. Eagles on top early, but they add to it. Later, this one gets through the right side. Another runner scores. Really This one was all Jasper all night. Another base hit up the middle. Jasper goes on to roll the district championship 15-3.
It's so exciting. I have played softball all 4 years and we've almost made it, and we finally did it. And I'm just so proud of these girls. We've worked so hard and we deserve this so much. We wanted to fight for it and we wanted to rally.
It's been keeping me motivated, knowing that next year I won't be able to do it again. And so they've been such a family to me, and we just keep each other motivated.
The Girard Trojans finished the softball regular season last night with a 7-0 shutout win over Colgan. Now, the Trojans won 4 of the last 5 games to finish their schedule. They've gotten some big-time production from junior outfielder Emmeline Sinnekit. Now, Sinnekit homered in each of the Trojans' last 4 games, and she's hit 7 home runs in the team's last 9 games. On the season, she's batting .438 with 10 home runs and a team-high 29 RBIs. Now, here she is today on getting hot at the end of the season.
I just feel like I'm seeing the ball pretty good. We practice hitting every single day, set up hitting stations every single day, so we've just been hitting the ball really good right now.
She's a key. She bats in the 3-hole because she not only hits for power, but she has a good batting average. I think probably the second best on the team. So, and we follow her up with Leah right behind her, who has also got power. So if they try to get too cautious with Emmeline, then we have Leah that hopefully will come in and take up the slack if they try to get around Emmeline.
A pair of Pittsburgh high school student athletes signed today to continue their careers in college. Now, they're signing for different sports, but both of them are staying in Southeast Kansas. Kaylee Ratzlaff signs this afternoon to play college softball. She is heading to Chanute to play at Neosho. And Matt Smith signs today to wrestle at Labette Community College. He's a 3-time state qualifier and finished 6th at state in February, becoming the Purple Dragons' first state medalist since 2018.
Goal for my first year would be to start for sure, but then once I get that goal done, then I'll to place at nationals and further go to a 4-year college for wrestling.
It truly means a lot because I've been playing softball since I was 4, and I was going to be really sad if it just ended this year. And I'm so glad that I got reached out to and I made the connections and that I got another chance.
Former Pittsburgh State linebacker Darian Taylor has earned his shot at playing professional football. 3.5 years after his college career ended, Taylor has signed a deal to play in the Canadian Football League. Now, the former Gorilla has signed with the 2-time defending Grey Cup champion Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Taylor was a captain for Pitt State and a 2-time All-MIAA selection before finishing his career in 2018. Now, you can check out our full story with Taylor on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Is in short supply and getting harder to find. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has more on what's contributing to this problem and what health officials say you can do to help keep that infant healthy.
The nationwide baby formula shortage is worsening.
We don't have the kind that I need.
Causing a growing number of parents to panic.
A mother who can't feed their baby, that's the most stressful thing in the world.
Shipment delays caused by the pandemic are combining with an extensive formula recall and the closing of one of the nation's largest formula manufacturing plants to fuel the shortage.
It's still scary sometimes thinking that, okay, we have maybe 2 bottles left and we have to go get formula and we might not find it.
Abbott Industries recalled a number of top name brands and closed its Michigan plant back in February over concerns some formula may have been contaminated with harmful bacteria. If the formula you use is out of stock, specialists say it's okay to switch brands.
To look at the back of the formula, see if you can match like the carbohydrates, the proteins, and it's okay even to do generic brands.
Just make sure to mix in some of your baby's current brand with the new one at first. This will help wean them onto the new formula and avoid the chance of stomach aches. Meantime, the scarce supply is inspiring mothers to help other moms, with some local lactation centers noticing an increase in breast milk donations and breast pumping consultations. Now, if you or someone you know is struggling to feed their baby, healthcare professionals suggest contacting your child's pediatrician or local food bank to request help. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Healthcare professionals are also recommending parents not water down that formula to stretch their supply and say, do not follow online recipes. Try and make your own formula at home, adding Those DIY recipes may not provide your child with the proper vitamins and nutrients they need. A new trailer to an upcoming Adam Sandler film on Netflix. Hollywood Nation coming your way. Another celebrity book is on the way. The cast of a popular horror franchise getting ready to scream again, and more. Here's Fox's Kristen Goodwin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Just a perfect day.
Westworld returns. Sandler scouts talent, and Bono tells all in the Hollywood Nation.
Bono, you and I work together.
U2's frontman Bono is releasing a memoir. The book, titled Surrender, will chronicle his life in 40 chapters, each named after a U2 song, and will include original drawings by the singer. It will be available November 1st.
This isn't funny, Amber.
Would you like to play a game?
Several familiar faces from Scream 5 are returning for the next chapter. Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, Jasmine Savoy Brown, and Mason Gooding will reprise their roles for the 6th installment, expected to be released in theaters March 31st, 2023. The sequel will center on the 4 survivors of the latest Ghostface killings, leaving Woodsboro to start a new chapter.
Stanley Sugarman, I'm a scout for the 76ers.
In today's first looks, Netflix released a new trailer to the sports drama Hustle, featuring Adam Sandler teaming up with real-life NBA player Juancho Hernan-Gomez. Sandler stars as an NBA talent scout whose search for the next great basketball player leads him to Spain, where he discovers a once-in-a-lifetime prospect. And HBO released the trailer to season 4 of its hit sci-fi drama Westworld, revealing the show will be back with new episodes starting June 26th. The preview also features Oscar winner and West Side Story star Ariana DeBose, who was added to the cast in a recurring guest role. Returning players include Evan Rachel Wood, Jeffrey Wright, Ed Harris, Tandy Wayne Newton, Tessa Thompson, and Aaron Paul. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of the Webb City splash pad, which opened today, and that looks so good right now, cooling off in water. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.